This is the bag which came back from Ukraine. This is the helmet he would have been wearing, camouflage jacket, the band on his right arm, which would have denoted that he was a volunteer, and his computer. This, to me, is the world, because this shows Chris.
Okay. Let's fucking run the gauntlet. Добрий день, евакуації!
In Kyiv today, a frightening new dawn for Europe and Ukraine. This city of 3 million awoke to sirens and an invasion.
Where was Chris when the Russians invaded Ukraine?
He was actually home with us, wasn't he? He became very, very interested in the news, more than he would usually do.
There was this outpouring of feeling for trying to do something to help. And I formed a messenger group. Chris got in touch with me.
I just have to go out there and help. I can't just stand by and let this happen without at least trying to help.
So from the 24th is when it kicked off. That's when they invaded. On the 28th, he said, I'm flying to Poland tomorrow morning. So he flew to Krakow, and he was there by lunchtime. He was in a hostel, and he said, I met some other guys that are going.
Do you remember meeting Chris for the first time?
Yeah. It was cool to see like another dude like similar in age. I hoped he was American until he opened his mouth. I was like, shit. He's like, hello, and I was like, damn it, man, because I love meeting Americans over there. It's cool. We have like a little bit of camaraderie. In the beginning, he was doing super simple things, like nothing unnecessarily dangerous. He was very willing, though. He had like a ton of willingness.
So just arrived in Bakhmut. My van is parked under a bridge for safety reasons, and the other guys in 4x4s have gone off to pick up lots of people today and then ferry them back here as kind of a meeting point, and then go back into more, and then we'll leave together.
How do you train to be an evacuator?
I don't think any of us trained.
Dude, no, evacs are sketchy, man. I mean, you show up, have a van with as many seats as you can fit into it, be willing to drive, be willing to die, I don't know. There's not any large organizations doing evacs, that's the thing. Usually it's just little groups, who are in contact with each other, but kind of operate alone.
So you're given an address?
Yeah.
And you'll drive in and rescue them?
Yeah, they'll be like, yeah, we have, I don't know, our grandma is there, she wants to leave, or, our dad is living there, he doesn't want to leave, but can you try and persuade him and stuff like that.
Давайте, готовьте в машину. Давайте. Сідайте. Ой-ой-ой, прильот.
I can work in these super dangerous areas. I can do videos from there. I can put it together into like a social media clip.
Забили на машину, пересідай. Пуля, вперед! Сука! Вперед! Давай! Лягай! Бабуль, давайте! Поможи, під другу руку понеси! Давай, можна фільм знімати. Ага.
So we got the grandma out, and that video did really well. I got like, I don't know, 6-7 million views maybe combined.
Why was a social media presence important for people?
Man, funding. We just need diesel in the tank, man. I think with Instagram especially versus like the other social medias, with Instagram you can tell a story. In the early weeks, we were bringing out hundreds of people. Usually, people with kids leave first, the families. And that's like as the front line is encroaching, like approaching that city. But over time, the people who did need to leave stayed way too long.
So the last people that wanted to leave generally...
Yeah, they're poor, old, and stubborn. Yeah. It's like Russians right around the corner, you know? And that's when they want to leave. So, by the time Chris was doing evacs, it's risky.
Evacuacji, evacuacji! Dobry dzień. Dobry dzień. Angielski volunteer.
Нашли.
Ajajaj. Okej. Okej, dawaj. Dobre. Babuszka. Budlaska, budlaska. Okej, super, super.
Chris, thank you.
Budlaska. Okay.
So, you had no idea what he was up to?
None.
He kept it all secret?
Yes.
So the first we heard about him out there was when he called us to say, "Oh, I'm out in Poland."
That's right, in Warsaw, wasn't it?
No, don't worry, I'm not going to go into Ukraine. I'm going to stay and help out in any way I possibly can in Poland.
Completely safe, Mum and Dad.
So I'm here at Bakhmut train station, and just outside there's this huge crater. It's obviously a very near miss. Quite risky.
Russia has been sending large numbers of mercenary fighters from the so-called Wagner Group to the front line in the mining town of Soledar. The battles in this area are among the worst of the conflict so far.
So a lady contacted me asking for her mum to be evacuated from Soledar, and I asked Andrew to go and pick her up. As we figured out later, Andrew asked Chris to go with him. Then by mid-second half of the day, the lady called and she said no one's been there yet. But, you know, it's not entirely unusual to be absent for a day.
And we had a phone call at 5:30 Saturday afternoon. It was the Foreign Office.
Yeah, we had to inform you that your son has been reported missing.
Two British men who were working as volunteers in Ukraine are missing. Christopher Parry, who's 28, and 48-year-old Andrew Bagshaw were last seen on Friday in the eastern Donetsk region, where fighting has been intense.
We were in town, and I noticed there was a couple of missed calls on my phone, on strange numbers which I didn't know. And I phoned one of them, and he said, "Is it Mr. Parry?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Unfortunately, I've got to." And we just
Cried like babies.
Almost 3 weeks since they were last seen alive, there's now confirmation from the families of Chris Parry and Andrew Bagshaw that the two men have been killed in eastern Ukraine.
Chris died from gunshot wounds to the head and torso. It's thought the British volunteer may have been killed by Wagner Group mercenaries in a possible war crime.
In a statement released through the Foreign Office, Chris Parry's family said he had found himself drawn to Ukraine in its darkest hour, and added his selfless determination in helping the old, young and disadvantaged had made them extremely proud.